facility. Next, think about what to wear. Since most everything in Arizona has thorns, long-sleeve shirts and pants are recommended because of the harsh terrain, cactus, reptiles, and insects you may encounter. Wear protective gloves and strong-soled shoes or boots. Avoid sandals or loose-fitting shoes. Don't forget your sunscreen, and you'll probably want a hat too. Congratulations! You're ready to pick up trash. Your group should carpool as much as possible to keep the number of cars on site to a minimum. And always remember to park as far away from the roadway as possible. Next, your group coordinator will conduct a safety meeting for all group members. Each person must wear a safety vest at all times. Safety vests, along with trash bags, will be supplied to you by ADOT. Remember, no children below the age of 12 or pets are permitted in the program or in the work area. For your safety, do not utilize music players. Your ears are often the first thing to warn you of imminent danger. Appoint a lookout for your group. Work facing oncoming traffic, and remember to stay at least 5 feet from the pavement edge. The fewer distractions for the traveling public and your group, the better. Now, when it comes to trash, know what you're picking up. If you cannot identify it, don't pick it up. This brings us to the topic of hazardous waste.
Methamphetamine is the #1 drug abused in the United States and Arizona today, and is responsible for a lot of our violent crime.
The sun is rising.
Each pound of meth that is manufactured produces 5 to 6 pounds of hazardous materials as waste. So when you're out here on the roadway, don't pick up things that have tubing that is red, ice chests that are red, or red chemical bottles. Bad guys throw them out here because they don't want to get caught with them. Also, leave those corroded propane bottles alone. Used car batteries, needles, syringes, or anything that you don't know what it is. The best rule of thumb is if you are uncertain, don't touch it and inform local law enforcement. Remember, be alert.
Also, do not enter pipes or culverts. The danger is too high, so let the pros deal with that. You should pick up small items made of paper, cardboard, plastic, styrofoam, wood, or rubber. Glass items and small empty containers are okay if they do not have sharp edges. Tie your bags securely shut and place the filled bags at least 6 feet from the pavement edge. Do not overfill or overstuff the bags. ADOT workers must lift these bags into their trucks. Place large or heavier items like tire debris or any items that would tear a bag near the filled bags. Remember, don't move anything that could cause you or your team members physical harm. ADOT will remove your filled trash bags from the roadside after the cleanup is complete. Avoid overexertion and drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated. Adopt a Highway program encourages recycling, so collect the recyclables and take them with you. Make sure your group has enough water and that on-site first aid is available. Leave snakes alone. People are bitten because they try to kill a snake or get a closer look at it. Keep hands and feet out of areas you cannot see. Don't pick up rocks or firewood. Be cautious and alert at all times. If you or a group member is bitten, wash the bite with soap and water. Immobilize the bitten area and keep it lower than the heart and get medical help. Remember, you signed a permit to do this. That permit has terms and conditions. It is very important that you read and abide by them. Inform your ADOT Adopt a Highway contact at least 5 days prior to the cleanup effort. We need to make sure your dates don't conflict with other highway uses, so it's very important to know who your Adopt a Highway contact is and that they have your contact information. We need to know as quickly as possible if a new coordinator is appointed or if you change any of your contact information. Make sure everyone in your group fills out a volunteer registration form before each cleanup. The Arizona Department of Transportation wants this to be a rewarding and safe experience for all of you. Volunteers like you make this program successful by giving your time and energy to make a positive impact on the environment. Your efforts are appreciated, very much so, not only by ADOT, but also by the citizens of Arizona and the visitors who will enjoy a cleaner state because of your hard work. So spread the word. Arizona, keep it grand.
Construction work is underway for the Broadway Curve Improvement Project.
We are improving 11 miles of Interstate 10.
But many drivers are going too fast in a work zone, leading to crashes,
damaging equipment, and slowing everyone down.
For everyone's safety, please slow down and pay attention to the road.
Remember, you're in an active work zone.
Please, slow down in our work zone and drive 55.
Do you remember the electricity at State Farm Stadium on Final Four Monday? Anyone? I do. It just reminded me of it. It brought me back so many great memories. Well, good morning and welcome. I'm Jay Perry, CEO of the Phoenix Final Four Local Organizing Committee, and thank you for joining us as we announce the economic impact results from the 2024 Men's Final Four. Hosting one of the biggest events in sports was a huge win for Arizona, our economy, our communities, our residents, and really our global basketball family. And I can tell you, it took a huge team effort to pull off this victory. In the Valley, we're fortunate to have strong public, private, tourism, and tribal support, operating as one unified team, which is essential to successfully hosting an event of this magnitude. We'd like to recognize a few special guests that are here today. Phoenix City Councilwoman Keisha Hodge-Washington, thanks for being here. PLOC Board Co-Chair Ron Price, CEO of Visit Phoenix. Michael Bidwell, owner of the Arizona Cardinals and Insignia Event Services, and board member of the Arizona Major Events Host Committee. I think Danny Seiden's here, president and CEO of the Arizona Chamber. And so many more of you are just important partners to us. We also want to recognize the NCAA for their partnership and their leadership, and to thank them for entrusting us with their crown jewel event of all time. We're so grateful for the strong support from 6 leading cities here in the Valley. The City of Phoenix, Mayor Kate Gallego, who could not be with us today, for their incredible collaboration on the downtown Phoenix campus that took over Men's Final Four weekend. And for the great leadership of John Chan, Deputy City Manager. Nothing happens without the godfather of major events. And it also includes Sky Harbor Airport, who did a phenomenal job of safe and efficient travel of 360,000 passengers from around the US. The City of Glendale for their collaboration around the State Farm Stadium campus. The City of Scottsdale, Avondale, Tempe, Peoria. Thank you all for your partnership. Our Native American communities play a really important role in representing our past, but also our future success and culture. And I want to thank Trina Parvello from the Tohono Nation and also Cecily Peters of the Auction community. Arizona State did a great job as the partner and host institution. And I want to recognize Mike Chismar, Senior Athletic Director, and again, with ASU, nothing happens without Chiz. Am I right? Finally, we want to thank the Seidman Research Institute and recognize senior researcher Anthony Evans, who authored the study we're going to talk about today and oversaw all the work that went into producing it. The report shares some very noteworthy numbers about the economic power of the men's Final Four, and we'll dive into that shortly. The men's Final Four is so much more than a basketball tournament. It's a community celebration and literally has something for everyone. Free events for sports fans, for music lovers, for food lovers, and kids alike. Philanthropic efforts that leave our community stronger, like the complete renovation of East Lake Park and Community Center. And volunteer opportunities so everyone can be involved. All in all, it was an unforgettable April Arizona weekend with our signature sunshine that will not be forgotten for a long time. I hope you had a chance to experience some or all of it. And while the men's Final Four is certainly a lot of fun and games, and basketball at its highest level, at the collegiate level, there's also a substantive business case. So let's get down to the compelling facts of why the Final Four, like other major events, is a force multiplier for our state. Successfully hosting the men's Final Four and future major events requires strong and steadfast leadership across multiple sectors, and it starts at the top. Governor Katie Hobbs is a consistent champion and has been incredibly supportive from day one, and it's my honor to introduce Governor Hobbs to announce the economic impact of the 2024 men's Final Four.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am excited to be here with all of you to talk about the success of the Final Four. It's one thing with all the excitement leading into events like this to talk about how we know it's going to be great for the economy. It is quite another to actually show that in numbers. So obviously this was a team effort. You heard from Jay about all the entities that helped put together such a successful event. State agencies, local government, private partners, and we're so grateful to all of you. All around, this was another great showcase of Arizona's uniqueness, our food, our nightlife, our nature, and accessibility, to name a few. So thank you, Jay, and the entire Phoenix Local Organizing Committee. Let's have a round of applause for everyone involved. You saw some of the highlights from the video about all the people who got to participate, whether it was at the games themselves or all the events surrounding the event. But we saw hundreds of thousands of Arizonans and visitors from all 50 states participating in the numerous events. The concerts at Hance Park, Fan Fest at the Convention Center, and lots of fun activities for everyone, even if they weren't able to be at the games. There really was something for everyone, and the economic impact was huge. I am so excited to share that according to the study done by the Seidman Research Institute at ASU, the 2024 men's Final Four generated $429 million in economic impact for Arizona. That is over $100 million more than the last time we hosted in 2017. But that's not all. More than $21.2 million of direct sales tax, including $12 million to the state, $2.2 million for Maricopa County, and more than $7 million for our cities and towns. And while these numbers are certainly exciting, they represent so much more. Thriving small businesses, jobs for Arizonans, and lifelong memories that were created. The bottom line is that the 2024 men's Final Four once again shows that when it comes to hosting major sporting events, no one does it better than Arizona. And I look forward to hosting all these visitors who had great memories, that is economic impact that will continue to pay off for Arizona down the road, and doing it again when we host the Women's Final Four in 2026, and then again in 2027 when we host the NBA All-Star Game. Thank you all so much.
Governor Hobbs, thank you so much for your enthusiastic support, your unwavering support, and we are ready to start on the Women's Final Four, so let's go. Okay, so now it's my pleasure to introduce Tom Sadler. Tom is our PLOC Board Co-Chair and President and CEO of Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority. I'd like to give a special thank you to Tom for the incredible leadership and support that you poured into the Final Four. And you put us in a position to be here today talking about the unbelievable success of it. And I just want to say thank you for all of you've done. Welcome. Come on. Now it's time. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Governor Hobbs, for all of your support. The process started when we were selected to host the 2024 Men's Final Four on July 16, 2018, 2,777 days ago. There was a ton of collaboration among stakeholders. I'd like to thank all of those who came together, worked tirelessly on this massive undertaking for hosting the Men's Final Four. I also want to recognize Jay Perry and her team and the Phoenix Local Organizing Committee Board of Directors for their extraordinary efforts in working with the NCAA to bring this event to fruition with an incredibly successful outcome. I also want to recognize my co-chair, Ron Price, and thank you for all of your contributions. I also want to thank Michael Bidwell and the Arizona Cardinals Football Club and Insignia Events for all of their support throughout this event. For the student athletes who played in the 2024 Men's Final Four, the weekend had to have been a thrill of a lifetime. From my present perspective, and as Jay said, wearing two hats as the president and CEO and co-chair of the PLOC, I would use a different term to describe it, and that simply is, it was an honor. It was an honor for Arizona to host an iconic event, and we're so grateful to the NCAA for twice trusting us with their iconic championship. Now, just as a side note, the Men's Final Four is different because it has 2 days of competition. And on Saturday, there are 4 fan bases in the building. I've been to hundreds of sporting events, but there is a unique electricity in the building on the first day when that semifinal game tips off with all those different colors in the stands. The 3 games drew a combined 149,000 fans to State Farm Stadium. The championship game between UConn and Purdue drew 74,423 fans. That is the 3rd highest attendance in the game's history. Now, if you allow me a moment to brag a bit about Sun Devil Stadium and all that it's accomplished over 17 years since it opened, please bear with me. State Farm Stadium has hosted 3 Super Bowls. Thanks again, Michael. 3 college football national championship, 2 men's Final Fours, and on a host of other memorable events along the way. I think some of you remember Taylor Swift and the Rolling Stones and Beyonce. State Farm Stadium is a proven economic driver, a major asset for Arizona's tourism industry. Numerous surveys have estimated the combined economic impact of the stadium events at more than $6 billion. That's with a B. A number that grew considerably after this men's Final Four, for sure. One last thing. One of ASTA's missions is to generate tourism by providing leadership to the bids that attract mega sporting events to State Farm Stadium. That was the one of the promises made to the citizens of Maricopa County who approved Prop 302. And the 2024 men's Final Four delivered on that promise. Thanks to everybody, and thanks for being here today.
Tom, thank you so much for your leadership and your ASTA board as well. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Urias, CEO of the Arizona Office of Tourism and PLOC board member, to hear about some of our tourism benefits that have been amazing from the Final Four. Come on up, Lisa.
We're all just jumping up. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Governor. Great to see you all this morning. So major sporting events are incredible tourism drivers to Arizona, and the ASU study of the 2024 Men's Final Four makes that abundantly clear. Nearly 115,000 out-of-state visitors came to Arizona primarily because of the 2024 NCAA Men's Final Four. Over 68,000 of these visitors had tickets to at least the Saturday game, and they stayed an average of 3.9 nights. They spent an average of $482 per day, and they were accompanied by more than 5,600 friends and family, and that really says a lot. It's a great indicator of the power of Arizona as a tourism destination. No ticket, no problem. They came to experience Arizona anyway, and can we blame them? The next game, 37,000 visitors came to the Valley for the national championship game on Monday. These visitors stayed in Phoenix for an average of 2 nights and spent an average of $566 per person, and another 3,300 out-of-state delegates came to attend the National Association of Basketball Coaches Convention, which is held annually with the Men's Final Four event. The games were televised nationwide, globally really, and we reached a combined total of 40.3 million viewers and 2,100 media impressions. So that's an incredible opportunity for Arizona to be showcased on the international stage. These numbers show that the Men's Final Four offers an incredible platform to share Arizona's story with the world. In Arizona, we're fortunate to have such a
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on Monday, August 26, 2024. We'll begin with an invocation from Police Chaplain Bob Fesmeyer.
Represent and serve and love. You are the one that sees into every heart. You see our hopes, our dreams, our joys, our sorrows, and our worries. Minister to each willing soul with your mercy and your grace. Watch over every family with your provision and protect our protectors. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Councilman O'Brien will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I'll now call to order the formal meeting of the Phoenix City Council. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Galindo Elvira.
Here.
Councilwoman Guardado.
Here.
Councilwoman Hodge Washington.
Here.
Councilwoman O'Brien.
Here.
Councilwoman Pastor. Councilman Robinson.
Here.
Councilman Waring. Vice Mayor Stark.
Here.
Mayor Gallego.
Here. Thank you for joining us. We have new technology for this meeting, thanks to our team who worked so hard to deliver it, and we may ask for some grace as we learn to use it. Carmen Cota is here with us to provide interpretation. Karma, would you introduce your team?
We will be providing Spanish interpretation for today's City Council formal meeting. I will now take a moment to introduce ourselves to our Spanish-speaking audience and review some guidelines. Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a la reunión formal del Consejo Municipal. Mi nombre es Carmen Cota y junto a mi colega Elsie Duarte estaremos sirviéndoles hoy como intérpretes a nuestra audiencia de habla hispana. Deseamos pedirles de antemano, si es que va a dar un comentario público, por favor, hable despacio, con claridad y evite tener distracciones de fondo. Finalmente, pause después de cada una o dos oraciones para poder interpretar lo que esté diciendo de la manera más completa posible. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Will the city clerk please read the 24-hour paragraph?
The titles of the following ordinance and resolution numbers on the agenda were available to the public at least 24 hours prior to this council meeting and therefore may be read by title or agenda item only. Ordinances number G 7286 through 7291, S 51146 and 51166 through 51210, and resolutions 22233 through 22240.
Nicely done. Will the city attorney please explain the role of public comment?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the public may speak for up to 2 minutes to comment on agenda items. Comments must be related to the agenda item and the action being considered by the council. General comments that go beyond the scope of the agenda item must be made in the citizen comment session at the end of the agenda. If the city council and staff cannot discuss or comment on matters related to pending investigations, claims, or litigation. Additionally, any member of the public who appears before council in their capacity as a lobbyist must, as required by Phoenix City Code, disclose this fact before addressing council. The City Code requires speakers to present their comments in a respectful and courteous manner. Profane language, threats, or personal attacks on members of the public, council members, or staff are not allowed. A person who violates these rules will lose the opportunity to continue to speak.
Thank you. We'll now move to the meeting minutes. Councilwoman O'Brien, do you have a motion on items 1 and 2?
Mayor, I move to approve items 1 and 2.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Councilman Waring, do you have a motion on items 3 and 4?
Yes, Mayor. Move for approval of the minutes of the formal meeting of July 1st, 2022.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Councilman Waring, item 4.
Mayor, I move approval of the minutes of the formal meeting on August 31st, 2022.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Stark, do you have a motion on items 5 and 6?
Yes, I do. I move to approve the minutes of September 7th, 2022 and September 21st, 2022.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a motion to continue as items 7 and 8?
Move to continue 7 and 8.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those motion was to continue to the next meeting, September 4th.
September 4th.
Do we have a motion, Councilwoman Guardado, on items 9 and 10?
Yes, I move a motion to approve items 9 and 10, agenda items 11 to 2022 for item 9, 12/7/2022 for item 10.
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Councilman Robinson, do you have a motion on items 11 and 12?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I move that we approve the minutes from the June 26, 2024 council meeting, as well as the minutes from the July 1st, 2024 minutes council meeting. Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Councilwoman Hodge Washington, do you have a motion on items 13 and 14?
Yes, Mayor. I move that we approve the minutes for April 19, 2023, as well as the May 31st, 2023 meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Passes unanimously. Next, we move to item 15, boards and commissions. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
Yes, I move to approve mayor and city council boards and commission nominations.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Passes unanimously. We now have a brief swearing-in ceremony to welcome our new commissioners who will be serving the city. Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Samuel Lowell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of the office of
discharge the duties of the office of Phoenix Business and Workforce Development Board
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping lead our workforce board. Thank you for your leadership of our workforce board. As we talk about our boards and commissions, we have lost one of our longtime commissioners, Roy Miller, and just want to extend our sympathies to his family. He served the city in multiple capacities for many years. The City Council provides an advisory role to the state of Arizona on liquor license applications. We'll move to that portion of the agenda. Vice Mayor, do we have a motion?
Thank you, Mayor, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually excited to make a motion on our liquor licenses today because so many of them in District 3 are in the Paradise Valley Reimagine redevelopment. Very excited about that. So I move to approve items 16 through 43, except items 30 and 43.
Second. Motion and a second. Congratulations. It's a lot of long-time work that's moving forward today. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Passes unanimously. Item 4 is in Council District 4. I'm sorry, item 30 is in Council District 4. We do not have Councilwoman Pastor. All right. Well, then, why don't we begin with a brief introduction from our staff.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. I'm Kristen Benavides with the City Clerk. This request is for a new liquor license for a restaurant. This location was previously licensed for liquor sales and currently operates with an interim permit. The 60-day limit for processing this application was August 20th, 2024. However, a request for more time was submitted. In accordance with Arizona Revised Statute 4-201B, the application was posted the required 20-day period from July 8th to July 29th. No protest or support letters were received during that period. This application was reviewed by departments, and a recommendation of no basis for denial was provided from each. On the city questionnaire, the applicant stated the business would include live entertainment and outdoor alcohol consumption. The zoning department indicated that a use permit was obtained for outdoor alcohol consumption and that live entertainment is permitted in C2, subject to the conditions of 623.d.157A. In addition, the applicant noted on the questionnaire that the hours of operation for this business are listed as 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. daily. Staff recommends approval of this application.
Thank you. We have Leslie Sorensen here to testify.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor and members. My name is Leslie Sorensen, and I live on the 0 to 45 East Block of Woodward Drive, and I'm here representing several neighbors, some of whom have registered comments online or watching virtually. Woodward Drive is a curved street that connects Central Avenue to Virginia Avenue about a quarter-mile south of Thomas. Our street is part of the Ashland Historic District and is made up of some single-family homes, a couple multifamily apartments, and a trio of Airbnb rental properties. There's at least one family with young children, seniors, working people, and often patients at Airbnbs recovering from procedures at St. Joe's. As I hope you can see from the comments, our neighbors and neighborhood welcome the use of the property for the community and look forward to seeing the sugarcane succeed. However, we do have some concerns about the impact their current business plan has on the neighborhood. First, they're proposing to be open until midnight, Tuesday through Thursday, and until 2 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These opening hours are surprisingly late for being at the end of a residential street, and I believe they're not reasonable for the area. As I mentioned, there are children living on the street and working people who need to be up for their jobs, and we anticipate car doors slamming at midnight or 2 a.m. even on Sundays. The potential for disruption is significant, and we would ask that the liquor permit sales be restricted to hours more compatible with the historic neighborhood. Second, they're proposing to have live DJ music 4 nights per week. Based on the Instagram page, it appears they'll be performing Thursday through Sunday. Our issue is not with the DJs themselves, but the noise that's likely to occur. I mentioned the street is curved. Because of the unique design, the street acts like an echo chamber. The middle of the street is a 3-story building that allows the sound to just resonate. Sound will also travel south into the Ashland and Vernon Avenues and the north side of the Regency on Central Building. Because of the noise concern, we're asking for 3 things for the liquor permit. 1, that DJ hours are restricted to ending by 8 p.m. every night. 2, exterior doors, windows, and the garage door may remain closed while the DJ is playing. And 3, no amplified music is allowed on the patio. We believe these are reasonable and will allow sugarcane to thrive while balancing the needs of their new community. Third, the sugarcane parking lot currently has 19 parking spaces. There's one other business that operates in the evening on a to-go basis.
Thank
30
you.
more seconds?
Yeah, finish the sentence.
Thank you very much. We'd ask that the city begin enforced parking on the street. We are subject currently to a neighborhood parking enforcement. We think that will be a problem. We're overall happy they decided to invest their resources in our neighborhood and look forward to them flourish. However, we do believe some reasonable restrictions on the liquor permit are warranted in light of the proximity to residential neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Josh, our planning director, we may call on you, but Kristen, could you just speak what of those we can address through this process and what would need to go through the planning department's process with permits for outdoor noise?
Right. So stipulations to any of the requested items would be in good faith only and not binding to the.
I apologize, Mayor. I'm going to step in just to help Kristen for a second. Kristen's been doing a great job. She's newer. And this particular question, for the stipulations, if they're related to zoning items, then the zoning, planning and development department can address those through planning and zoning permits, if that's possible. And Josh could let us know more about that. From a liquor standpoint, we can't put any stipulations that are binding on the liquor portion of it. So any sales of alcohol or anything, that's authorized by Title IV.
Perfect. I think that addresses it. So I think in terms of protecting the neighborhood from noise, there is some tools at the City of Phoenix, but the liquor license is not the place for this one. So maybe we can try to, where did Leslie go? Connect Leslie with, okay. Tools that can help address this. Is the applicant present?
I contacted them by telephone, however, did not receive confirmation that they would be
Okay.
here.
So we don't have a perfect solution, but we do have tools. All right, do we have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, actually, we have a request for, let's see. Okay, so there is some discussion about whether we can continue it, and we have missed the deadline.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. We did request for additional time for this. However, our 60-day period has expired. We can reach out to the Department of Liquor to request additional time. We don't know if that would be approved or not.
Okay. So a no recommendation vote might allow us to, for the District 4 team and the city team to engage, and these seem like potentially problems where we can make success. So do we have a motion for no recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, we need a roll call? I'm sorry, a roll call.
Galindo Elvira,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Hodge Washington,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pastor, Robinson,
Yes.
Waring, Stark,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Thank you. Next, we go to item 43, the Warehouse 215, which is in District 8. Councilwoman, would you like to hear a staff presentation in the comments?
Yes, Mayor.
All right, we'll begin with Kristen, and then we will.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This request is for a new liquor license for a bar. This location is currently licensed for liquor sales with a Series 6 bar liquor license. The 60-day limit for processing this application was August 11th, 2024. However, a request for more time was submitted. In accordance with Arizona Revised Statute 4-201B, the application was posted for the required 20-day period from June 17th to July 8th. One valid protest letter was received. The letter is from a local resident who is concerned with the impact of the liquor license on the neighborhood, including traffic, safety, and noise. This location has been licensed with a Series 6 license since December 2023. Series 6 licenses have limited availability. The State Department of Liquor conducts a lottery of these licenses, and applicants apply to obtain through the lottery. In this case, the owners of the business applied for Series 6 lottery license and got one, and upon receipt, the license must be placed at a physical location. In order to meet this requirement, it is not uncommon for businesses to, quote-unquote, park a lottery license at a location and apply with the local jurisdiction to activate it with the intention of transferring to a permanent location in the future. State law does not allow for a business to have two active licenses of the same type at a single location. Therefore, once the lottery license is activated, they will be required to place it on inactive status until it is transferred, since there is already a Series 6 license there. Staff gave careful consideration to the protest letter received. However, after reviewing the application in its entirety, staff recommends approval of this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hodge Washington.
Thank you. Thank you, Kristen, for your update. I want to emphasize to the neighborhood and the applicant that when we do receive a protest letter and feedback, we do take it seriously. And my expectation is that the applicant will also take it seriously. As mentioned, the particular application will not prohibit Warehouse 215 from operating as it currently does. So denying this request will not solve some of the issues that have been brought to attention as a result of this process. I want to say that we are proud of our local businesses and the history and the charm associated with the Warehouse District. However, I also want to emphasize that we will not overlook the impact on that the businesses have on our community. I'm asking that the applicant reach out to my office so we can work together through the feedback we have received from the community. To the community and our Central Park Neighborhood Association, I've heard your concerns, and as mentioned, denying the request will not stop the applicant from operating, but I believe it gives us an opportunity to work together to find resolutions. So, Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve item 43.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I would also, I just received a new list of speakers that includes Tim Harper. Tim, apologize for not calling you on item 30. We will note for the record that there was more than one speaker in opposition to item 30. City Clerk, are you ready for ordinances, resolutions, new business, planning, and zoning?
Yes, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I make a motion to approve items 44 through 117, except the following: items 53, 54, 75, and 78, noting that 114 is as corrected. And can the clerk confirm if there are any other items that should be excluded for in-person public comment?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, no other items need to be excluded at this time.
Thank you.
What about 77?
That was Laura had a conflict. She's not here.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Galindo Elvira.
Yes.
Guardado.
Yes.
Hodge Washington.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pastor. Robinson.
Yes.
Waring. Stark. Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Item 53 is a public hearing for the proposed 27th Avenue and Baseline Road annexation. We will open the public hearing. We do not have any members of the public to comment on this, so we'll close the public hearing. We will take a vote at a later meeting. Item 54 is a public hearing for the proposed 53rd Avenue and Broadway Road annexation. We'll open the public hearing. We do not have any members of the public to comment. We will close the public hearing. Next, we'll go to item 75, which is our application to HUD for an eviction prevention grant program. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Hodge Washington.
Thank you, Mayor. I've asked to pull this item because I wanted to note a few important points about evictions. I have experience with this in my professional life, and I can attest to the unbalanced system that is in place and the devastating long-lasting impact to people's lives when an eviction is on their record. It is my goal to find ways through things like legislation or grants that will bring balance and fairness to this important issue. I want to thank Organized Power in Numbers for their work in our community and for working with me on this important issue. I also want to thank the Deputy City Manager, Gina Montes, and her staff for their work to address this important issue. The grant goals are to reduce total eviction complaints filed involving Phoenix residents, increase the successful outcome of eviction proceedings for tenants, and increase housing stability for all at-risk and vulnerable residents. Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to provide my comments.
Thank you. We'll go next to Councilwoman Guardado.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to take a moment to thank our Deputy City Manager, Gina Montes, and the Human Services Department for their ongoing efforts to identify and apply for grants like the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Eviction Protection Grant Program. Your work to find ways we as a city can provide legal aid and representation for those facing eviction is essential to stabilizing vulnerable households. Too many residents lack access to the resources they need to navigate the legal system and avoid losing their homes. It's imperative that we continue pursuing every avenue to protect vulnerable members of our community from the devastating impacts of eviction. I strongly encourage the city staff to maintain this assertive approach in securing vital funding sources that can make a real difference in people's lives. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you to our team who's pursuing multiple different pathways, including the partnership with Community Legal Aid on this one. Any additional comments? Roll call.
Galindo Elvira.
Yes.
Guardado.
Yes.
Hodge Washington.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Waring. Stark.
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
Item 78 is the Community Wireless Network request to amend IGA. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Hodge Washington.
Thank you again, Mayor. The transformative work that has been done using our ARPA dollars to expand free Wi-Fi coverage to communities, especially students, is nothing less than remarkable. Mayor, City Council, City Manager Jeff Barton, and CED Director Chris Mackey have made this a priority to allocate funds to libraries, community centers, senior centers, and now we are here allocating funding to close the divide within students. The digital divide is great in our city's urban areas where the lowest income still lack connectivity. I see the education challenges in our school, and when communities do not have access to something many of us take granted like this are important. When CED Director Chris Mackey recently briefed me, she highlighted a number that literally made my jaw drop. 25% of students do not have access to internet. Imagine trying to learn in a world where you do not have access to the internet. I want to specifically thank Chris Mackey and IT Director Steen Hambrick for their work to bring this forward, and I enthusiastically support this agreement, especially as it extends to our Roosevelt School District, which is undergoing investment in extending the technology applications to their students.
Councilwoman Guardado.
Thank you, Mayor. So if there was one thing that the pandemic taught us was how many of our students were going without being able to do homework and being able to attend school, which brought us to the moment of trying to deal with the digital divide that was happening throughout our city. I want to take a moment, I know she's not here today, to thank Councilwoman Pastor for all of her leadership in this issue for now a very long time. The Community Wireless Network proof of concept was a resounding success in District 5, making a tangible difference in the lives of students in the Cartwright Elementary and Alhambra School Districts. This proof of concept demonstrated the immense value and necessity of expanding the community wireless network across additional districts. Providing free high-speed internet access is a critical step towards ensuring equitable educational opportunities, enabling all students to thrive in our increasingly digital world. After speaking directly with the superintendents and families in these districts, it is clear how crucial this program is and the significant positive impact it has had in bridging the digital divide. The results demonstrate the vital importance of continuing to invest in and expand this program to reach more communities in need. Again, I just want to thank our Deputy City Manager, Chris Mackey, and the Community and Economic Development Department for their work and commitment to making this program a resounding success. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you. Roll call.
Galindo Elvira,
Yes.
Guardado,
Yes.
Hodge Washington,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Waring, Stark,
Yes.
Gallego.
Yes.
Passes 8-0.
We had several planning and zoning items on today's consent agenda. Together, they authorized 357 units of housing. That brings us to 7,114 for the year to date. That concludes our agendized items. We will now go to the final portion of the meeting, which is the call to the public, and I'll ask our city attorney to introduce that portion.
Thank you, Mayor. During citizen comment, members of the public may address the City Council for up to 3 minutes on issues of interest or concern to them. The citizen comment session is limited to 30 minutes. The Arizona Open Meeting Law permits the City Council to listen to the comments but prohibits council members from discussing or acting on the matters presented.
Thank you. We'll begin with Julia Taggart, followed by Elsa.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to make a public comment. My comment is just about the North Mountain Visitor Center. So I think it's great that the South Mountain Environmental Education Center is getting a makeover and getting renovations done. To my knowledge, North Mountain hasn't had any renovations done in a while. The exhibits that are facing the window have been very badly bleached by the sun. You can't even read them anymore. Some of them just have answers. You don't know what the questions are. A lot of the pictures have been just damaged by the sun. They haven't been replaced since they were put in 2005. There's no water bottle refilling station. I've seen many hikers go in that want to refill their water bottle and they have to try and use the water fountain and it doesn't always work. I know Reba Wells Grandrood worked on those exhibits. She recently passed away on August 10th, but we had talked about redoing those exhibits and kind of bringing them back to life. I would love to see North Mountain Visitor Center get some, little bit of renovations done, because we will have North Mountain Park being renovated, and that will increase the traction to the visitor center. And it would be great for people to learn about the history of the mountains and be able to read what the exhibits are saying. Also in that area, there is no crosswalk, there is no hawk. There's many people that come over from Point Tapatio or from the Lookout Mountain Golf Course that are just trying to play sharks and minnows, getting across the road, because there is no crosswalk and there can't be a street light because it is a major artery road. I would love to see a hawk or some sort of crosswalk there for safety measures, because people do try to get across that way. As I said, Reba Wells Grandrood, she passed away. She was very big with Southwest history, especially Sunny Slope history. She worked with the City of Phoenix Historic Preservation Office, as well as the Arizona State Historic Preservation Office as well. On September 28th at 11 a.m. at the Sunny Slope Historical Society, we are doing a celebration of life for her. You are all welcome to come and attend. We are going to be showing photos and memories of Reba and just remembering her life and all that she did to preserve Arizona history as well as Southwest history. So I want to invite you all to that, and thank you for letting me make my public comment.
Thank you. Elsa is next, followed by Carolina. Is Elsa with us? All right, Carolina Hernandez, followed by Mimi. Is Mimi with us? Mastani Qureshi? Armand? Armand? Great. Armand will be followed by Kathy.
Hi, my name is Armand, and I wanted to speak about the Phoenix PD and how I do not feel safe as a black man in this city. I have been beaten by Phoenix PD. I have been harassed by Phoenix PD, and recently the DOJ reports come out, which is something that we've already known, which has been going on in the community for a long time. It's just that now it's been become a little bit more public, and we're waiting on reform. We need some help out here. They're killing black people, they're killing black children, they're killing brown children. It needs to stop. We need some help. And we're wondering, when are you guys gonna step up and start to help us? Because nothing is getting done. Mayor Gallegos has been the mayor for the last 10 years, and I seen a little press conference released by her recently where she stated that she's been on this police reform fight for the last 10 years. If this is the result after the last 10 years, maybe something's wrong. Maybe anybody else who works a job, and if they're not doing something right after 10 years, usually that person gets fired. So, like I said, we need help out here, and we need it now.
Kathy is next, followed by Patricia.
Hello, my name is Kathy, and I'm a resident of the city of Phoenix. And I just wanted to, sorry, I'm going off my notes. I just wanted to say that I'm very concerned for the city of Phoenix. The Phoenix Police Department, their morale is very low. They have trouble recruiting. We don't have enough people for the police, and I just feel like if with the DOJ involved, it's just going to be less recruiting, less police. We're going to lose. Our communities are already struggling. There'll be more unsafe, and I'm just hoping that mayor and council people, that you will really take to heart and think about our men and women in blue that risk their lives every day for you and all of us in here, and that they've been one of the leading departments in the United States, and have people, many officers have been sent here to be trained, and different staff because of that. And I just really think that it's going to affect the morale of these men and women. And like I said, we already have trouble recruiting. We already don't have enough police. This is not the answer. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Patricia is next, followed by James.
Good evening. I'm P.J. Boone Edgerton Longoni, Reverend P.J. Boone Edgerton Longoni. The issue here is about accountability. It's not about us, whether we love the police or not love the police. We love the police in the work that positive work that they do. But one of the things I noticed in the DOJ report is that there's no data or limited data in being able to hold the city manager, governor accountable for what is being done in our communities. And so that is one of the issues that came up in the report. And it is important when you do evaluation to be able to have the data that's needed. And that's what I'm looking for.
Thank you. James is next, followed by Denise.
I'm James Wright. I'd like to thank the mayor and the members of the council for this opportunity to speak. I'm speaking for my family and my neighbors along the Myrtle Wash area between Highway 15 and 16th Street. We're seeking the council's assistance, and some of you may be familiar with our issue. We're attempting to get the city of Phoenix to honor its commitment to restore the Myrtle Wash area and the Perth Charles Nature Walk Trail 1A following its razing by the City of Phoenix subcontractor during October 2023. The contractor exceeded the scope of their work. They literally reduced a once beautiful wash area and nature trail to near barren land with no vegetation or trees. They cut down 66 trees that were 6+ inches in diameter, an action that was specifically outside the scope of their contract. City has acknowledged their mistake and made a commitment to correct it, but 9.5 months later, we still do not have a comprehensive and detailed restoration plan, which we were supposed to have about 4 months ago. And we've also provided an example of such restoration in the form of the Choya Trail Area Restoration. Here's the impact. They destroyed the ecosystem. They destroyed the wildlife habitat. They removed all the vegetation from the Perth Charles Nature Walk Trail. The area is now barren and aesthetically offensive. Southside Wash Shoulder has been narrowed, which has created a driving safety hazard. There's increased erosion every time it rains or there is a monsoon. There's nothing to protect the soil, and so now there is also a street hazard from soil and debris along Myrtle Avenue every time it rains. There's been a negative impact on our home's values by between 10 to 15%, even though all of us residents still pay our full property taxes. These homes have been selling for over $2.5 million each. Our request is we'd like the city to honor its commitment to restore the damage done by the city's mistake and fully restore the wash and trail area to its former lush state by the end of '24. We'd like to have a team with decision-making authority develop and implement a comprehensive plan. The plan should include neighborhood input, and the team should stay involved until the project completion. You need to deliver a detailed and comprehensive restoration plan, which hopefully can be fully implemented this fall. And we also want to include a required update at each city council meeting where myself or our neighbors could be in attendance. Additional information is available if you want. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Denise is next, followed by Roland.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise. I am a proud member and citizen of the city of Phoenix. I am also an advocate for our community that emphasizes on working with inner city kids from the Hispanic to the African American community. And I'm here to say my concern reference DOJ versus the City of Phoenix Police Department. For over 25 years, I have been advocating for a community through services that allow many of our young men and women in our community who come from the inner city to have the opportunity to be part of services that allow them to meet and interact with our city of Phoenix Police Department. Many of our officers have come to my program and they have been very helpful. I've helped in some of these children and family and mothers that have been victims of domestic violence. I understand that there's concern about certain behavior of certain officers. There's always a bad apple everywhere, but I'm here to testify that for over 25 years, I have had nothing but great experience, and I speak on behalf of my Hispanic community and many African Americans who do support the police, but I also understand there are people who are concerned because they have been victims of violence coming from those bad apples, and I believe that all of us deserve answer, but I'm here to support our officers and to thank them for the service and for being there for my kids, the children from 11, 13, 14, 15, 17-year-old who were actually in gang, children that were actually passed out in the middle of at the night, and parents call me concerned about their children that have been drinking and driving, but these officers were able to sit down with them and come to the rescue and speak with some of these children and young men and women who have now turned their life around. I have one of my students that came to my program. His name is Brian. He now served the U.S. Army, and he's very proud and he's supporting. He thanked our law enforcement for being there for them. So thank you, City of Phoenix Police Department. And I also do not want to undermine the pain of those families that have been victims of any type of aggressive behavior towards them, because I want to be in the middle. But I think that to judge every officer for the mistake of some is extremely unfair.
Roland is next, followed by Christina.
I believe everybody knows who I am already. I'm the father of Jacob Michael Harris, who was murdered by the Phoenix Police Department, whose case was recited by the United States Assistant Attorney General when she put out the DOJ findings that my son should not have been murdered that night nor tortured that night, and was deprived of first aid for over 10 minutes, shot in his face with beanbag guns, and had a dog turned loose on him. But I am still not up here being anti-police. But I do believe that the answer to this problem is not putting more police on the streets. It is not trying to get rid of the police department. I don't hate the police. I do hate the bad apples in the police. But I think at first and foremost, the city is at fault, because everything that you guys have put out there was to delegitimize this DOJ report. There has yet to be any accountability on behalf of the city, the manager, the mayor, or anybody saying, hey, we do have a cancer within our police force. Let's cut this cancer out. We do have a problem within our police force. But everybody keeps turning a bad eye and turning away from that, saying, oh, these children are out here committing crimes. Well, you know what? That's what we have a court system for. And everyone should have their day in court. Court should not be held on a dark street on 91st Avenue in Camelback and be shot at 11 times while running. That is not the answer that we need. So therefore, I say all police officers are bad, because even the ones that are good do not speak out against the ones who are bad. So if you continue to not uphold your oath, you are just as bad as the ones that are violating our rights and murdering our children. And Kate, you had 10 years to fix this issue and accept accountability, and you have yet to do so. So I'm looking at you today and I'm asking you, step up, take accountability, and get rid of these bad officers for the good ones. And if you go through and you guys do sign a consent decree and 50% of your police officers walk away, good riddance. You've gotten rid of the trash. We will rally behind and stand behind the other 50% who do stick around, that are here to protect us and are here to do our oath. But as a black man and a father of a black child and multiple black children in this city of Phoenix, I fear that my children every day when they walk out will be murdered by a police officer. I had a daughter who's now 16 that wanted to be a police officer when she grew up until they murdered her older brother. And still there's been no accountability. You still have these police officers who deleted WhatsApp communications, who in their interviews clearly lied and said Jacob was moving around when clearly in the video he was not moving. And these officers are still police officers. And the officers that shot and killed my son has shot 2 other citizens of this community since murdering my son. And still no accountability. The officers that are involved in 70% of these murders is part of your special assignments unit. And guess what, Mayor? They don't have to wear body cams. So I think they're the problem, not your officers that are coming around, not your student resource officers. I don't hold every officer accountable for my son, but I do hold you accountable for not taking accountability.
Christina is next, followed by Paul.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members, for hearing testimony today and for your service and commitment to the safety of the citizens of Phoenix. My name is Christy Narcy, and I am the National Chapter Director at Independent Women's Network and Chair of the Phoenix, Arizona chapter. We're the leading national women's organization dedicated to enhancing people's freedoms, opportunities, and well-being. And I'm here today to urge the council to refuse to subject our Phoenix Police Department to the scrutiny of a U.S. Department of Justice consent decree, an undertaking that has a proven track record of faltering in substantive accomplishment. As president of Freedom Academy K-8 charter school in North Phoenix, I want to applaud the council and the Phoenix Police Department for already implementing successful reforms that have resulted in positive improvement for our community, from attracting top talent with highly competitive pay to implementing the use of body cameras with a strong accountability program. Consent decrees have given the DOJ permission to investigate police departments by exerting oversight of them for over 30 years now. These long-standing pattern and practice investigations on local law enforcement agencies have left a wake of negative impact on communities, including higher crime, lower staffing, and ballooning budgets. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office has incurred nearly $300 million in taxpayer costs since 2015 due to this federal monitoring, thereby defunding the police and limiting the resources of the officers installed to protect the city. While the stated intent of the DOJ's consent decrees is to protect civil rights, it has done the opposite, creating an adverse effect on the minority communities it promises to help. I urge you not to surrender local autonomy by allowing federal overreach to steal control of our local law enforcement and the city they serve. Residents should have a say in how their city is governed. The city of Phoenix should be able to chart its own course with confidence in the council's ability to manage and reform the police department without outside interference. Thank you for your time and your service today.
Thank you. Paul is next.
Madam Mayor, members of the Phoenix City Council, my name is Paul Parisi, and I'm the Arizona Grassroots Director of the national organization Our America, and I'm an Arizona resident. With me today are Our America grassroots activists we call hometown heroes, and that's all these yellow shirts that are here today. We are very concerned about the United States Department of Justice report of the Phoenix Police Department and the push to get the city of Phoenix to agree to a DOJ consent decree that mandates court-ordered monitoring of the Phoenix Police Department. Our America believes the key to achieving safer streets and brighter futures lies in a combination of police and criminal justice reform. Despite the DOJ's allegations, the city of Phoenix has gone out of its way to cooperate with the DOJ, making sweeping reforms on its own. The Phoenix Police Department's effort to improve transparency, accountability, and community relations demonstrate a commitment to policing excellence without the need of federal intervention. Community support for the Phoenix Police Department is strong. Phoenix residents who are intimately familiar with their community's unique needs and challenges overwhelmingly favor local control over federal oversight. Ronald Reagan had a famous quote, "The most terrifying words in the English language, I'm from the government and I'm here to help." This quote resonates with many who feel that federal intervention could do more harm than good. The debate over the DOJ's proposed consent decree is not just about police reform. It's also about maintaining local autonomy and ensuring that the residents of Phoenix have a say in how their city's government. As Phoenix grapples with this issue, our America Hometown Heroes, who are Phoenix residents, urge you, the mayor and council, to reject federal overreach and continue striving to keep Phoenix residents safe while respecting their civil rights. We believe this will be achieved through local control and community-based policing. Thank you for your consideration, and I do have some handouts.
Thank you. Elsa is next, followed by Carolina.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elsa. I'm with Black Lives Matter Phoenix Metro. As also, we are part of a coalition to bring true justice to Jacob Harris and to free his friends, Jeremiah, Soraya, and Johnny, who are still to this day serving a prison sentence for a crime the Phoenix police committed. And the DOJ's report has already come out and told y'all the stuff that we've been coming and showing up in city council to tell y'all for a very long time, and the community has told y'all for a very long time. That the Phoenix police is violent, causes violence towards our communities, takes up a majority of our city's budget that does not go back to community, but instead goes towards our violent police force. And to this day has never been held accountable, nor has any of you on this council who have been here, some of y'all have been here for more than 10 years, including you, Mary Kate, and have still not held a single police officer accountable for their actions. So we are standing here saying it's enough is enough. We want accountability to be held. We want our young ones to be freed from the crime that they did not commit. And we want real policy change from the folks that are sitting here that can make policy change. We want budget changes. We want actions to be dramatically taken and taken seriously. No comments on social media, on reports, on news reports, debunking or trying to denounce what the DOJ did. So today, and my colleagues here, and we'll keep showing up to City Council repeatedly until we see active changes happening, both in our budgets and in our communities. Thank you.
Carolina is next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carolina. I'm here today as a concerned citizen. I'm concerned because this is the first city council meeting since the release of the DOJ investigation. And, it's time to take accountability. The DOJ report confirmed what communities of color here in Phoenix, here in Arizona, have known for years and years and years, which is that the Phoenix Police Department has consistently committed violence against Black, Brown, Indigenous, unhoused, and disabled communities here in Phoenix. And there still isn't any accountability. So it's time now. It's time for the City Council to hold the Phoenix PD accountable and to stop being complicit in this endless violence against communities of color. What we're asking, First, we know that the Phoenix PD disproportionately stops, arrests, and incarcerates Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. We want an end to this harassment of people of color in the city. We are asking that the city ensure that there is an ending of youth enhancements and a trying of young people as adults. We want a repeal of the law that allows officers to murder unarmed fleeing felons. And we want timely expectations for medical aid when officers commit violence. We want an ending of qualified immunity, and we want to ensure that officers' reprimands remain in the files permanently. Most of all, we want justice for the families that are being impacted by the police and by the city's misconduct. This includes justice for Jacob Harris and the release of Johnny, Jeremiah, and Soraya, who were wrongfully convicted for his murder. Additionally, along with other impacted families, we want restitution and mental health counseling for victims of police brutality and their families. The families have called for comprehensive services and the rights as outlined in the Family Justice Collective's Bill of Rights. Any negotiations with the DOJ needs to include and center the demands of these families directly being impacted by police and the city's misconduct. Thank you.
Thank you. Mimi is next. All right. Third time calling Mimi. We are adjourned.
ADOT, connecting Arizona.
About 13% of Arizonans have little to no broadband access. And in tribal communities, it's even worse because about 95% of tribal communities simply don't have access to broadband.